Welcome back to yet another history lesson. Tomorrow's lesson, we're going to try and do a live session. It's not going to be Zoom, unfortunately, but it will be on YouTube Live. You don't have to be there if you don't want to. It'll still be recorded for you to watch it later. But if you would like to be there, you can join in at 10:30 and it will end at 11. So it'll probably end before 11. I doubt everything's going to run smoothly, but we will see. So if you'd like to be part of that, once again, it will be Wednesday, 10:30 to 11, and I think that it'll probably end or be a little bit shorter than that. You'll be able to comment and chat within YouTube, but there's not going to be any webcams or anything like that. By the way, thanks to those who have filled out those questions. We seem to be doing pretty well. Quick question, what time are you guys waking up on average? I know for me, I'm sleeping way in. Like, I'm not waking up until like 6:30 or 7. But what about for you guys? Also, just wanted to shout out Kara for all of her comments on the YouTube channel. She's been commenting on all of the videos. If you'd like your own shout out, comment on the video down below, and I will be shouting out a random person each day with their comment, as long as it's appropriate. Oh boy, I think I could be in some trouble with that one. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be much shorter than it usually is, but that doesn't mean that there's not a lot going on. It's going to be about foreign affairs, and we'll cover some of the stuff actually later on in the chapters as well. We're going to look at a new election as well as a new amendment. Also, there's going to be a Google Forms attached to this lesson, and it will actually be on the CNN 10 that will be attached. And I know that we haven't been able to watch those in a while, so hopefully that goes well. I will leave the link in the description to the video so that you're able to do that. So, as we look at what we have, America has now finished up the Civil War, and it's time for them to focus on other things. In the next chapter, we'll be looking at the development of industry within America, and then we're going to look at westward expansion, and then we're going to be talking about a guy named Maximilian I, which sounds more like a dog name to me, but it's actually not. It's an emperor, and we'll be talking about a few other things. But ultimately, during this time period, we were doing our best to keep France out of Mexico, and this is due to a document that we created that says, Europe, you stay on your side of the world, and we'll stay on our side of the world. I wonder if anybody can remember what that document was named. Hint, it's named after a president. No, it's not Johnson or Lincoln. Also, Secretary of State William Seward decides, hey, I want to buy a giant chunk of ice. And we call that chunk of ice today Alaska. And eventually, America is going to make an alliance with
China.
Then it falls apart thanks to the Boxer Rebellion.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
But it's time for a new election. So, the current president, Andrew Johnson, was hated by his own political party, as well as many other different people as well. Why? Well, he's hated because of all the stuff that we talked about within this chapter so far. So they need a new president.
Think. Light bulb.
As they're searching for a candidate, why not choose a hero? That means no Southerners, because they lost the war. Somebody who rescued our nation. That's right, it's going to be Ulysses S. Grant. He's going to be our next president. He's going to be a Republican. He's going to be a war hero, and he's going to win the election, even though it was fairly close. But it wasn't exactly what he wanted, and you're going to see why that was as well. Side note, would you like to vote someday? Like, to have political influence on what goes on in our country? Vote now at Google Classroom US History for your chance to vote. Okay, enough of that. The next amendment would be the 15th Amendment. This one states that states are not allowed to deny votes of citizens based on their color or their previous condition of servitude, aka they were slaves. Once the few southern states that were still not part of America, because they hadn't signed this treaty, signed this, they were able to join. Yeah, talking about you, Virginia. I think this is incredibly obvious, but it's really an important amendment as it protects colored people's ability to vote. Well, kind of. It didn't perfectly fix what was going on, as you guys watched that video yesterday, and those votes that didn't get counted. Now it's illegal for that to be able to happen, but many of those southern states created what were then called education tests. You know, we don't want to let dummies vote, so they created these tests. I'm going to give you guys those tests, but not today, okay? And we'll see if you can pass and if you should have the ability to vote. We can sum up Grant's presidency pretty quickly. He did some important things, like get rid of the KKK, who we'll talk about later. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for Grant. You see, while we don't believe Grant was a terrible or a corrupt person, it's pretty clear that many of the people in his cabinet or his friends were those things. Many of the people surrounding Grant were stealing from the national government. I know, ironic, they work for the government, they steal for the government, or they were stealing from citizens. And Grant did more trying to cover these things up than he did trying to punish it. Grant was trying to keep order within the nation, this nation that had just been broken apart, and try and make it more together instead of pushing them apart. It's like this cartoon right here. He's trying to grab on both sides, and he's just stuck in the middle, and one of those sides just happened to be really, really corrupt. If we hit 30 likes on tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow's video, I'll give everybody 2 short answers on our test on Thursday. Yes, we have a test on Thursday. But thanks for watching. I'm Mr. Dickinson, and this was History Class. You are dismissed.